YouTubers, Brian Proctor back with another video, and this is another action pose position of the week, number 28, if I'm not mistaken. And this is the final product. Now, I had a little trouble with it because I had some conflicting thoughts and ideas, but you'll see what happened in the video. And to those who are watching this video, you might be new here, but even to those who are old, I'm doing this because, number one, I want you guys to be able to draw better. Number two, I want you guys to be able to draw action poses, because if you're doing comics, you're always going to be doing, some type of action pose. And then thirdly, I want you to be able to do your own characters. Somebody wrote into me, he saw one of the videos and he said, oh, that'd be a great Captain America or something. And I think I replied back to him, yes, it would be, but I want you to do your own character. And basically, I want people to be able to, if you want to draw this, that's fine, and do a Captain America or Wolverine or whoever, that's fine. But I want you to be able to put your own character into that drawing so that you can basically get out there and promote your own character or your own book. Marvel and DC has enough money with people drawing their characters and talking about their characters. But if you have that idea of doing your own book, you need to put their characters aside and start doing everything your character, your book, so that people will understand who your character is and what your story is about, so that one day you can make that Marvel DC kind of money. So this is why I'm doing this, so that you can start doing your own thing. It's enough Captain America and Batman and so forth. Even though I love Batman, but they're already out there. Let's get your stuff started. The same way I want to put my characters out there, I want to help people get their characters out there. So that's basically the gist of why I'm doing this series, and or basically about my channel anyway. I mean, I could draw Batman all day or Superman all day and say, hey, look at how I draw this. But I want you to learn how to draw. So that's what it's about, teaching you to do your thing. All right, so let's go ahead and get into that with the long intro. Let's go ahead and get into how I got this position. Let's go. All right, let's get it. Let's get it going. So the first thing we want to do is, as I always say, you want to mark off edges of your paper that you don't want to draw past. I'm going to be using the bottom, so hopefully I won't go past the bottom. Let's put it that way. All right, so this is going to be more of a crouching position, a crouching position. So let me do a quick rough first, and then I'll go over it with you. What it is I did. So start out with the torso, and because this person's gonna be leaning, maybe I should pull him over a little bit more, because it's gonna have a leg sticking out. So it's gonna be kind of like this torso. It's gonna be like this. So we're gonna have an arm here, and the arm here, and the arm here. Part of the arm here and part of the arm here. So the other arm is gonna go back like this. So we're gonna have the head like right about here. So the torso is gonna come down. You won't see much of the torso. You're gonna see, shoulders, the collarbone, and the chest. And probably that's about it. And then we have the hips. So if it's coming down, like, let's just say, since he's turned, his one shoulder is going to be here, or one delt is going to be here. So he's going to be turned like that. So that's going to be your center line, and it's going to actually curve, but you won't see it curve because you won't see it under that part. So about like that. It doesn't take much to have somebody leaning down. You just have to have that triangle, that diamond that I always say. No, I always say the triangle, which is actually the diamond. So that's going to be one shoulder. It's going to be the other, not shoulder, the delt, chest. So because the chest is out that way, you're going to have this. You're going to have that. It's got to be equal. Got to equal parts this way and that way. And then that delt. And that problem is here you can see some back. And then, you know, the neck, this hole for the neck is going to be right about there. So his head is going to be here. He's going to be probably looking down a bit like that. So the other arm is going to be the delt and the bicep, tricep, and then maybe the other part. Let's put that up back in the air a little bit, like that. So this is going to be kind of a foreshortened as well. So you have that. So you're going to have this. You're going to have that delt again, which is right here. I'm just making a circle so I can see how I want it. And then we're going to have the bicep, tricep, and then you're going to have the forearm. Then the hand. So the hand, and already it's going off past where I wanted to go, but it won't go much further than that. So that would be a good thing. The thumb is going to be like right there. All right, so that, let's see, that, and then that. Now, this one leg is going to be out, back, out, about like that. And that's something that it's going to take time and practice, because I see some people that you have to, what am I trying to say? You have to be able to see how long to make an arm and a leg. And I'll show you what I'm saying in a second. Okay, so now let me show you what I got. Let me put this other leg here. This is going to be a double kind of one of those positions where you can easily move an arm and a leg, and then change up the position. I'm sorry, I'm kind of mumbling. It's just, I don't know why I'm doing that. I'm just doing it. Okay, so this is the gist of the position right here. This is what we're working with here. Now, basically, this is kind of like the guy could have jumped and landed in that position, or he could crouch down to attack. There's several things that this could be used with. Let's see how I put the hand up or down, make a fist. We'll just leave it like that for a while. So my fingers, we're going to get the first finger like that, second finger like this, third, and what's happening is the fingers are bent, and I'll show you all of this in a second. It's got to go around like this, and that fourth finger is going to come kind of like that. Now, still maintaining the shape. Okay, now let me show you what I just did. If I can pull out a piece of paper here. So, what did I just do? Taking the torso, which is this, and the shoulders, which are there, and I lean it forward. So by leaning it forward, it takes on a different shape. It'll do this, chest, your delts here, and your head here. So your head is going to be here. Now the more I lean forward, the less chest you see. So if the chest is right here, I'm leaning this forward. And when you lean it forward, you might as well just keep this one whole shape right here. This would be separate pieces if he's standing straight up, the delts from the arms. Now when you lean it, it's easier because, well, it is all one piece. It's nothing going to break apart. But it's just easier to draw that like that. So if I lean them over more, instead of being a circle or an oval like this, let's just say circle. It makes it easier to say. It'll become more of an oval like that. And you'll see less and less chest. So that would be the head, the delts, and then that's the chest comes out like that. You wouldn't see the abs. You might see a little bit, well, you might see a little bit depending on the amount of turn the person has. So the hips itself would actually be, instead of being way down here, it would come way up here. So it would come like this, and it would come down and out like that. So those hips would be, the waist would be actually in his back. So it's kind of like drawing through, and then your legs like that. So when you bend over, it would be something like this. Let's see if I could ink this real quick. And as I said, you would see just some of the ab like that. Then the waist, the hips come out, and then the legs. And then you put your arms there under your delt. It's another drawing on its own. So the more you bend over, the less you'll see of this. It's like, I don't know. Let's see if you see this mouse. Yeah, so like if the abs were this button here on this mouse, the more you bend over, and it's your center line, which is a really good example, the more you bend over, the less you would see that. You wouldn't see that button anymore. You would just see the basic shape of the mouse. And then if it went further back, you start seeing his back. Hopefully that was understandable. So yeah, it'd be like that. So the more he went over, you would just see this part here. And if he went over more, you start seeing the back. You see the back, and you see his head like that, and still see the delts. And then less of the chest like that. So that's this guy rotating. So that's one thing that I did. Now, foreshortening is just, if I take this guy for instance, and I'm going to put his hand here. Well, let's put it a little higher. The closer it is to you, you know, the bigger it's going to get. So basically, before I even do that, let's just say this. It's coming towards you, so you have to do your cylinder. And then your other cylinder. So basically, it's just cylinders. It's just cylinders, and something, as I say again, when you start out as an artist, you have to play with your shapes, and then you have the hand, which is bigger still. Now, another thing is, if you do foreshortening, then you have to have it to where it's not too long, to where it looks like he's got like a mechanical arm and he's stretching it. So I cannot put that in words right now, and I keep pushing this paper way up here. I don't know why. Let me slide back. You don't want it too far away, or too much of an angle, or it's going to look stretched. which it does give it that stretched look, but you really don't want it to look like he's Reed Richards or something, stretching, you know, stretching out. So you don't want, how can I say, the more it's facing you, the more shorter it would become. Here's your pipe, same thing, bending down. Here's your cylinder right here. So as I turn that cylinder, it will start getting shorter, the more rounder, until it's pretty much like this. And that depends on how long it becomes until it's all the way facing you. So this would start narrowing just a little bit. This is fine, it will stay straight, so this would narrow just a tiny bit. This would narrow a little more going back, this even more, and depending on how long it is, if it's very long, it's going to narrow more. So this is what you have right here. So you're having this narrowing, and look at your monitor, Brian, and then you're having another piece that is connected that narrows even more, and then that's how you do your foreshortening. And that you could do that with a foot, a leg. However, if the person's foot, if I can do this, person's foot is right there, you'd have to start narrowing like that, and then it will connect to the that part of the body. Your waist, this is your waist, your hips, like so. But you'd have to be able to know, as I say, how far to stretch this thing. You don't want it to stretch like way out here somewhere and then put the foot, because that's a bit long. It's too long, unless you have like the kind of the fish eye camera, what it's called, or the long camera. And the fish eye camera is the camera just with a round lens like that, so you can see kind of all the way around, basically, if I'm not mistaken, for you photography people. So yeah, that's basically what I was doing with this. And as I said, this could be bigger. I could make it bigger, or but this is as far as I want to go with it. So with the foot, now because this is the ground here, that foot can't come way down here. The foot has to be behind this line here. So say if I put this thumb here, that thumb is pressing on that ground, so this foot has got to be behind it. So I have to adjust that leg. Let me throw some of this stuff away that I'm holding in my hand. All right, keep an eye on the monitor. So the foot has to be here. So that means I'd have to bring the foot back, put it going back in space more, back in space more, and make it smaller, receding. That's what I'm trying to say, receding in space. Like that. So if this knee or here, where's the other part of the knee? Right there, right there. Yo. So it's gonna be like this. Lift it up, lift it up, lift it up. Or pull my camera back some, because I'm missing some of the shots. So we have this foot here. So that leg would come back like this, foot about here. Now with this one here, you can either, well, see, since that leg is back higher, and you could either, let me do a pencil, blue pencil, or pencil, find a pencil. Maybe you can see that. Wouldn't be light. Can you see that? Yeah. Do this. And then I could have put the foot back like this. And then like that. And like as I said, by changing one or two things, you can change several positions. But do I want to keep this? I do want to keep this. I want to change this foot though to where it's kind of on that ground. Change it in the wash. Foot is going to be smaller. That leg is going to go back in time, or back in time. So you just see part of that foot there because that hand is taking up a lot of the space. Keep looking at the monitor. Stop going off. Now this is one of those times where you stop because I'm seeing some sides, so you would see just a little bit of that core. And then the side here, the hip start there, which means this leg has to be a little longer, a little thicker, or thinner here. Like that. Now let me work on this. This bicep. This chest is here. The collarbone is here. So there's that diamond because the collarbone is going to come around up into that chest. It's going to form like that, kind of like a Pac-Man type of shape a little bit, like that. And the other one, where's that? Right here, right there. And then I can play with this hand if I want to. I don't have to have it come out so far. I can just, okay, this is my, let me pencil it because I got so many red lines. This is going to be the delt right here. Chest, delt, right here. So I can cut back on the arm just a little bit. And then I can have it go all the way back like that. And then the hand could be here somewhere like that. Or I could bend it down like this. I can have a fist. And I kind of like that because he's like in the ready position. Almost like a footballer. Or I can have the hand as I was doing earlier, this one, to, I don't know, I just, maybe the fingers out. And to me, with the fingers out like that, that means kind of like he just landed. So it's a 3-ring circus. So he just landed down, and then I have to go back some more because I need some arm here. And this would have been like he landed, then it went down a little bit, and then he clenched his fist for the next move. So if he like jumped up, came down, benched his fist, and I'm ready to move on now, ready for the next stage in the fight. And I got to see that bicep. I don't see that bicep. So This is this. The bicep is going to be right here. This is going to come up and go between that bicep and that tricep. So the delt is going to be like this, split, and pull that delt back a little bit more. So big. Now I'm looking in a monitor. My monitor is blurring because my camera does that. It blurs. And then my glasses are dirty, so that's blurred too. So I'm just winning one by one here. And the fingers, I'm only using putting one bend in the fingers. And then I could put the knuckles here if I chose to. Like that. And this the side, thumb. So, what else did I miss trying to explain this? Let's bring this in a little bit. Now this is the tweaking part right here. This is when you just tweak it, because this arm is going back more, so it could definitely be the bicep, the delt can definitely be behind the head. So let's do this. Pencil. Maybe I can see. I'm telling you, this is a bad lighting moment here because I don't know, it's just not a lot of light in this room right now. And I'll still leave the bicep right here. Or I can change it, but I put this delt back. The more you twist the body, the better, more action it becomes. So I'm looking at the three arms, and first thing I want to do is I want to stop my camera and then restart it so to get that blur out of there. You might not see it in the final product, but I see it now. All right, that is a little better. And now that I'm looking at the three hands, I'm kind of liking the attack fist right here. So I'm going to eliminate the other two. And positions all depends on your panels. What stage is the person in the panel? As I say, did he just land? Is it he landed and not quite ready to attack yet, or he's ready to attack? And a lot of that depends on your dialogue as well. Because if he just landed, he could have said, "Ta-da, I'm here," and then he's like, "Get ready for me." That would have been the second one. And it's like the third one, which is this fist, you could be like, "Now I'm coming for you." So a lot of times, as I said, it depends on your dialogue, and that's just something you'd have to figure out once you start doing comics, because it all goes hand in hand. So that's your shoulder right here. Chest, bring that out more. And then so you see a little bit of ab right here, which is going to come around and disappear under there. And the other one, if you saw another one, it's going to, since the line changes like this, these abs won't line up. The next one, if you saw another one, it would be over here coming around. But since you won't see it, I won't put it there. That waist right there. So I made that rounder, which would be a lot better. And then maybe bring that waist, the hip up a little bit more for that leg to come in. And is that leg a little long? It could be, because it could be a little long. And these are the things that I say, it takes time before you can actually see if something is too long or too short. It's better for this part to be long than this part. This part to be longer than that, for me anyway. Yeah, I'm looking. This is where you stop and you walk away, and then you come back later and say, okay, yeah, that looks good, this is right. Round that bicep off a little bit more. So that hand has to come up here because it bends a little bit. And I think that's going to be it. Let me see what else I'm going to do to this. Let's say you won't see that knee. And I said I wanted to put more teaching into doing these. As I said in the previous video, or I'll just say it now, when I draw fast. I draw really fast. The faster I draw, the better I draw. If I'm drawing just slowly and trying to explain everything, then it comes out really, I don't want to say blocky. It comes out less dramatic because I'm trying to explain as I go. So when I do it quickly, which is why I did it real quickly, and then talk to you afterwards, then it makes it better. So this would be, and I want to kind of get into perspective as well. This would be I would say your eye line would probably be about down here somewhere, coming up. And then anything above it, because he's stooping down, anything you would be below it looking up. I'm not going to draw any buildings on here because I'm not too sure about the eye line, but it's probably down here somewhere because you are looking up above his chest, or you're looking up to see under him. So yeah. All right, so the rest is going to be the speed ink, and I'll figure out what I want to do to it, if anything else, and try to fix that foot, twist that foot a little, twist that foot back, because that is, if you have a foot here, this is his knee, his leg's gonna go back in here somewhere. So this is, and the foot can be actually still be lowered, and the foot is like down here. This foot has to be behind that line where that foot is. That's a perspective thing. So let me erase this, and I may have to bend that leg back. Now you might say, how did I get to that point where I'm having to do that? Well, I could bring the leg out more like this, like that, but then that kind of gives him a running look. I don't really want him to run. It looks like he just ran up and stopped at that position. So I want to kind of keep that angle, but just by making the legs shorter, it gives it that going back in distance and narrower. Same thing in perspective. This is coming out and it's getting thicker. This has to go back and get thinner. So let's see what a pencil will do, because I'm telling you, my glasses are dirty. And getting smaller, it can get shorter as well. Like that. A little shorter without making it too short. Fix it in the wash. Fix it in the wash. See what I do. See what I come up with. I don't want to do this. As I said, I can do this, but I don't want to give up because I started this one. And don't say don't, because this might come out to be better. It's a problem that I'm running into right now, and I don't want to just say, oh, I can't figure it out. I'm going to figure it out. As I said in other videos, your brain will see it. Especially if you're not used to it, your brain will see it, and you'll probably say something's not right, but you can't really figure it out. But the same way I was kind of mumbling earlier, A lot of stuff is running through my head, time-wise. There I go again. Anyway, I'll figure it out. I kind of like that though, you know, because again, in the stages of a panel, he landed, his hand was up, his hand came back, down, he's in the ready to attack position, and the leg comes back because he's ready to pounce. But that's not what I was going for. So in the end, if I ended up going for it, I apologize because, I don't know, it just looks good. Other than the long horse foot, which I can fix that. But I'll pause this video here and I'll look at it and then come back with the inking or the touch-ups in the inking, and we'll go for it from there. All right, see you in a second. And here we have the final product. Now I decided to go with the back leg instead of the leg straightened out. It was kind of hard, but I just, you know, the more I looked at it bent, the more I liked it better. So this is what I came up with. And the reason why, it's hard to explain, so I'll let that go. I was going to give you guys an example of it, but usually when I get to the end of it, the video, I'll just cut it there, but so I'm not going to go further back. So I'll just give you a better explanation of my next drawing in the next video. So with that being said, I will see you guys in the next video. Subscribe, as I always say, tell a friend. I'm trying to get my channel built up more, get more subscribers, more viewers. So yeah, tell a friend. All right, I am out. See ya.